think? Do you think that's the best course of action, or would
yes,
you go
to Congress? Michelle Bond is the Assistant Secretary of State. She is his direct supervisor. Condoleezza Rice, the White House.
Okay.
I mean, my name was brought up at a White House press conference on April 9th. I believe I sent that to you as well, Gary.
Mm-hmm.
That blurb, that piece of transcript from the White House press conference. And Dana Perino, the White House press secretary, said she just referred the reporter to the Justice Department, and nothing more was said about it. But certainly President Bush needs to be held to his high-sounding words. You know, okay, Mr. President, if you want to support an illegal Mexican murderer who raped and killed 2 young girls in Texas, and you want to give him your personal attention. Well, what about an American citizen, sir? What about an American citizen? Just going to throw him under the bus because it interferes with your political agenda? No. That is only going to happen if no one takes action. If Americans rise up and say that this cannot happen to an American, it won't.
So we have Tama in Arkansas. She says, I'm behind you 100% in Arkansas. Maybe they'll listen here since we have nothing else to do but fish. I will do anything I can do to help. Are we nothing but sources of income anymore? Someone says, why don't you ask Ron Paul to bring this to light?
That's a good question. That's a really good question, Gary.
Mm-hmm.
This is perfect for Mr. Paul. This is right down his alley.
Yeah. Well, I think that I know Ron Paul's got his hands full with the presidential campaign, but it's not going to hurt to suggest to Ron Paul that he take up this cause. If anybody's in Ron Paul's district, it's not going to hurt to contact him. Someone here, Josh Besquez in Tulsa, Oklahoma, says, a 2-part question. Will you document this in video form and circulate it on the Internet? Will you tour the United States and tell your story like Kathy O'Brien, the MK Ultra victim?
Well, it takes a lot of money, and unless this is picked up by mainstream media and investigated and looked into, I mean, Gary, admit you thought this was a little outrageous too until you spoke with an investigative reporter that did all the investigation. So I think that going out and talking to people and trying to tell this story without some corroborating person or information, you sound like a madman. And it's too unbelievable.
Well, I think that the best thing to do is to reach out to the media. I've got Renee Baumgartner from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, says, Lou Dobbs may be your best bet for media coverage. He spearheaded the NAU, NAFTA Highway Real ID. He's also covered the story of Border Patrol agents that have been locked up. Major calls and emails to him may help. I agree.
I agree. Lou Dobbs, just for her information, is my goal. I feel that if I ever could sit down with Lou Dobbs, I'm vindicated. He would handle it from there.
Repeat the years that this occurred so that we can be accurate.
I was arrested in August of 2000 and released in July of 2004 after a police investigation of the police. Once that happened, no one ever interviewed me. What happened was there was just a holy crap response. We've got this guy Loper still locked up, and he knows everything, and we tortured him, and he still didn't give in. He's not changing his story, so we better get rid of him. So they just dropped me off. They could have killed me, though. They could have killed me.
Well, we're glad they didn't. Nate in Tulsa, how did you reestablish your identity here in the United States?
Well, I actually grew up with Congressman Rob Andrews. We grew up in the same town in New Jersey. He's the congressman for the 1st Congressional District in New Jersey. And I actually went to school with him. So he was the first person, obviously, that I went to. And he was the first one to request a congressional investigation into this. And only because Rob knew me was I able to start reestablishing myself. But of course, all of my documents were here. My birth certificate was here in New Jersey, and other documents. And I had the congressman's support when I needed it to find a job. It's pretty difficult to find a job when you can't explain 4 years of your life. But he did assist. And there was nothing more he could do. What he told me was, Scott, there's nothing else I can do. I can't force a friendly foreign government to admit they're lying. I can't do that. And he can't. But he didn't have to now. They've admitted it themselves. So,
Michael and Marcia in Mesa, Arizona say, Scott, thank you so much for speaking out to us. No matter what, your story won't be forgotten by us. Thank you to RTR as well. We can make change for the better. Yes, we will. Michael in Toronto says, in order to save the world, we need to save America. To all our great American neighbors, beware of the Toronto police.
Anyone living in Toronto definitely knows what I'm talking about. That man knows exactly what I'm talking about. When I'm discussing police corruption in Toronto or Durham Region, Canada, that person knows exactly what I'm saying.
Ken in Ogden, Utah says, don't you think your now ex-wife could still be in a Canadian prison?
I don't know. My concern lies with my son now. I guess I never thought about it that way. I guess I was a little bit bitter that my ex-wife knew the truth all those years, and in my mind could have, if able to, could have walked into a federal building or a post office or slipped a note to a bank teller, anything at all to say that my husband has been captured and illegally incarcerated. Please help me. Please get this to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, which is the FBI in Canada. So I don't know. I don't know what happened to her. I have to be concerned. I have to be concerned about my son.
Michael in Toronto says again here, I will try helping Scott by sending this conference call to various Toronto radio and TV stations. Hopefully somebody will consider picking it up.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you. But I can tell you that the Toronto Star a couple of years ago was ready to print this story. Had their chief investigative reporter look into it and had found a lot of the information that I was talking about to be true. And the Toronto Star was threatened by the police at the 11th hour, and the reporter himself was personally threatened.
Now he's out near Vancouver.
When I spoke with him again, this is just an interesting side note, the reporter, and asked him to please print that story, he said in a very low voice, I can't, Scott. I have children. I'm sorry. I think it's pretty damn sad. Pretty sad situation. Canada is a police state. I mean, I think that anyone that lives there knows that. They know that.
So I'm trying to go through. Is there
well,
a
legal obviously, if anyone knows anyone in the media, please get in touch with that person. Please get in touch with that person. Once this is picked up by mainstream media, it will begin to snowball. More and more people will look into it. Please do that for me.
Linda in Houston's asking, how long have you been trying to get this out to the public?
Since 2004, when I was dropped off at the Canadian-American border with clothes on my back.
Let's see here. We've only got about 3 minutes left, so I'm going to just let you go ahead and close this out, and then we will be transmitting the action items later
Scott,
this week.
You want to, Scott?
I don't know. You know what, Scott? Look, I've said my part. You know, I'm just a lawyer, and I'm trying to seek redress for, you know, the deprivation of your rights. This is your story. This isn't about me.